Hey there, so today what we're going to talk about is creating sus chords and playing them on the guitar. So first of all, what I want to discuss is how we can create a triad, or just a refresher on how to create a triad. So we should know that the triad is made up of the 1, the 3, and the 5 of the major scale. So when we play a G chord, for example, even just a simple G chord like this, we're taking the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th note from our G major scale. So a G major scale would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So the 1 is the G, the 3 is the B, and the 5 is the D. So when we play this open G chord, all we're really playing is G, B, D, G, D, G. So we're just doubling up some of the other notes just to create a little bit of a fuller sound, because otherwise it would just sound like this. Now with all of those notes, it sounds a lot bigger and we have a little bit more to do with it. So that's just our basic triad. When we create a sus chord, what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3, or the 3rd note of that scale, the 2nd note on the chord, and we're going to either put it up or down. And that is what creates the sus chords. So when we talk about, we're going to talk about two kinds of sus chords. We're going to talk about sus 4 chords and sus 2 chords. So when we create a sus 4 chord, we're going to replace the 3rd note with the 4th note instead. And if we're going to create a sus 2 chord, we're going to replace the 3rd note with the 2nd note instead. So theoretically, that's how we create these chords. And now when we start to develop them on the guitar, a great place to start is using our basic open chords and then creating sus chords out of those. So we're going to talk about that right now. So why don't we start with A first? A is a really great one to do. So we're going to start with our basic open A chord. So we have our 3 fingers stacked up here. We have our open string on our 5th string, our 2nd fret on the next, 2nd fret on the next, 2nd fret on the next, and then open on our 1st string there. So that's just our open A string. We should know how to do that already before we move on. We're going to talk about how to create a sus 4 out of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3rd finger and we're going to move it, instead of having it on the 2nd fret, we're going to move it over to the 3rd fret on the same string, and that is now our A sus 4 chord. And it has a really cool, interesting sound. It sounds a little bit unresolved to me when I listen to it. And then I resolve it back to the regular A. It sounds beautiful. So now when we talk about the sus 2, what we're going to do is we're going to alter the same note, but instead of going up to the 3rd fret, what we're going to do is we're going to play open instead. So I'm doing open on the 5th string, 2nd on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 3rd, open on the 2nd string, open on the 1st string. So now if I want to play all of those, I can go A sus 4, A sus 2, A. Great, so that's just our A chord. Let's move on to another easy one. D. D is a great one to do this with, and very common to use in this situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our high note, our 2nd fret on our 1st string, and if we want to create a D sus 4 chord, I'm just going to add my pinky on the 3rd fret, and then back to regular D. So I'm taking my pinky and putting it on the 3rd fret once again. That's my sus 4 chord. If I want to go to my sus 2 chord, I'm going to take that same note, and instead of playing it on the 2nd fret, I'm going to play it open instead, and that's my sus 2. So once again, regular D. Sus 4 is with the pinky on the 3rd fret, and sus 2 is going to be with that 1st string is going to be open now. And I'm going to back down on the 2nd fret to create the D again. So those are 2 very common ones. Let's move on to some other ones here. C is a great one to deal with. So what we're going to do is to create a sus 4, I'm going to take my pinky and I'm going to put it on the 3rd fret on my 4th string instead. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually try to avoid hitting our open string. I know when we play a C chord, normally we want to play an open string there, but in this case we're going to try to avoid it. So I have 3rd fret, nothing on my 6th string here, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, open first, and then try not to play that next string. And when we want to play sus 2, what we're going to do is we're just going to take off that pinky and play it open. So you C, sus 4, C, sus 2, C. Great. So that was our A, our D, our C. We're going to go to G now. So a couple different ways that we can do G, but I'll show you some of the common ones really quickly here. To create a sus4 chord, we're going to take, instead of that second finger, or that first finger, sorry, on the 2nd fret, we're going to move it over to the 3rd fret, and then I just alter my fingering here, so I'm going 3rd fret, open, open, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. That's my sus4 chord. And if I want to go sus2, I'm just going to play actually that string open, then open A string. So our 5th string is going to stay open. So we have our A sus chords, our D sus chords, our C sus chords, our G sus chords. I don't think we're really missing any right now, and we're going to leave you with that for this week. Have a great week. Thanks so much.